#1 on the Gulf Coast. You're watching WALA Channel 10. This is Action News 10 at 6 a.m. with Renee Dials, Joned Thompson, Chris Coraggio, and the award-winning Action News 10 team.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Dowles, along with Chris Coraggio and Don Davis, filling in for Joned Thompson, who is on vacation this morning. We thank you for getting up with us on this Wednesday, the 16th day of October. We've got a tropical storm out there. You didn't tell us about this. You have to warn us about
It just happened all of a sudden,
yeah.
mid-morning yesterday morning. Tropical storm Fabian, about 70 miles south of Miami, Florida right now, moving to the northeast. So it looks like it's just going to skim the coast of Florida. We'll talk about that later. Right now, it's cool outside.
It is. It feels great.
It feels wonderful. Might want to grab a jacket before you go to work. Take a look at the current temps out there right now. 47 in Mobile and 49 degrees in Pensacola. How long is it going to stay with us? We'll talk about that up later.
All righty. Braves go at it today?
That's right. We're going to talk about the Braves, Game 6. We're also going to talk about what happened last night at the Civic Center, the first NBA game ever played there. It was a terrific evening, so we got a lot coming up.
All right. Thanks, fellas. And later on in the newscast, we'll hear from one Gulf Coast official who says he knows what is going to happen to the Lady Lex when the vessel is decommissioned. And moves are being made to expand one Gulf Coast paramedic unit with the purchase of 14 new ambulances. And a man who eluded police for more than 3 months is behind bars this morning and facing murder charges. Stay here on Action News 10 at 6 a.m. for more on these and other pressing stories. But our top story this morning concerns Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas. Despite 11th hour allegations of sexual harassment, Clarence Thomas is set to take his place as the nation's 106th Supreme Court Justice. Yesterday's 52-48 confirmation vote was the closest victory for a nominee this century. Here's how your Gulf Coast senators voted. Hal Heflin, a member of the Judiciary Committee, voted against Thomas, while Alabama's other senator, Richard Shelby, cast his vote in favor of the confirmation. Florida's 2 senators also split over the Thomas vote. Republican Connie Mack voting for confirmation, but Democrat Bob Graham waiting until late yesterday afternoon to come out against Thomas. Mississippi's 2 Republican senators sided with the president's choice. Thad Cochran was already on record in favor of Thomas, but Trent Lott didn't throw his support to Thomas until yesterday afternoon. Many folks here on the Gulf Coast watched the final vote on television. Now, while the confirmation vote was close, there appears to be widespread support for the new justice throughout the community.
I think it's the best thing could have happened for him. He earned it.
Well, I think he'll be a great Supreme Court justice. And I think he's gone through the trials and tribulations, and therefore, I think he should be confirmed. And I'm glad he was confirmed.
They didn't come to a conclusion about sexual harassment suit, so you've got to let them in. Unless you can prove them truthfully, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Now, many say the Senate hearings that focused on claims of sexual harassment against Thomas were an embarrassment to the nation.
Testimony was strong enough, and again, I just feel that it got blown out of proportion.
Thomas says he's ready to put the bitter confirmation hearings behind him. He is expected to be sworn in on Monday. Mobile County lawmakers and school officials will meet again today to try to hammer out a solution to the school's money crisis. The director of the Mobile County Education Association, Bill Hannibeth, has his own plan to help the public school system. He's calling for a total of $4 million from the city and county in the short term, followed by a property tax increase. Governor Guy Hunt says there is no need for a special session of the legislature to deal with the funding problem. The governor claims the problem has been exaggerated, but State School Superintendent Wayne Teague disagrees.
To Jefferson County and Walker County and Chambers County and see if it's overreaction or not. Those schools are in serious trouble of even finishing this year.
The meeting with local legislators and school officials is set for 3 o'clock this afternoon. There are unconfirmed reports this morning about a compromise in the works over the battle for the USS Lexington. Action News 10 has learned the Navy may send the Pensacola-based carrier to Mobile, while another city in the running will receive another ship.
The word I had this morning was from Terry Anderson, it could be a very good compromise. If Corpus Christi could get to USS Wisconsin, which is decommissioned, and we could get to USS Lexington, then it would make 2 cities happy.
Copeland says the Navy hasn't officially confirmed that plan, but the Secretary of the Navy, Lawrence Garrett, is expected to make a decision next week. It is 4 minutes past the hour, and time for our first check of sports. We had basketball history in Mobile last night.
Oh, you know, I stayed up to watch the game. I was there, got home very, very late, but I was so glad that I did. It was just a terrific evening. Everybody that I saw after the game, all the fans and stuff, everybody had huge smiles on their faces. It was just a terrific time. There was history, never before. But I think it'll be again now.
I think so.
After last night. The first NBA game ever played here in Mobile was everything you could have wanted. A big crowd, superstars, and a close game. It was, of course, called the Food World NBA Shootout. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Orlando Magic. Basketball fans here in the Port City will no doubt remember last night for a long time. Let's waste no more time and get to the action last evening from the Civic Center. Fans piling in, and they certainly got their money's worth. Pick it up in the first quarter. Auburn grad Charles Barkley, thinking about it, pump fake, will hit the jump shot there, and the Sixers led. But here come the Magic. Scott Skiles on the dribble will give to Terry Catledge, the former Jaguar, who lays it up. The fans certainly enjoyed that. Meanwhile, a big battle down low. Manute Bol, 7-7.5. And Stanley Roberts gets the best of Bol there, dunks it through. Now, this is Theron Mays for the Sixers. He's a rookie. What a game he had. He's going to be a good one. Knocks down the jump shot, but the Magic stayed right with him. Chris Corchiani to Marlon Wiley, who hits a jump shot of his own. Sixers led by 3 at the half. Second half, watch this highlight. Charles Barkley driving the baseline. The big dunk with the left hand. That brought the house down. Even Jag head coach Ronnie Arrow got a kick out of that. Now, this game went right down to the final minutes, and even though Barkley was not in at the time, he's cheering on his team as Theron Mays comes down, gets the pass from Brian Oliver, dunks it through. That proved to be the difference. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Magic last night. The final, 112-107, and it was a treat for everyone.
You know, I hadn't been here in 7 years as far as playing ball here in the auditorium, but, you know, brought back a lot of memories, and I'm just still glad they had the fan support here that, you know, that I left.
Okay, what's the possibility of the Sixers coming back to Mobile next season and entertaining us with another preseason game?
Well, if they want us, we're here, I'll tell you right now.
See that?
I think we want them.
I think it was a great time, and Charles Barkley stayed afterwards, and along with a lot of other players, and signed so many autographs. You love to see that. A lot of kids there got a lot of memories last night.
Now, the fans, who were they pulling for mostly last night?
The cheerleaders for South Alabama kept cheering for the Magic all night long. I was wondering why they didn't switch at halftime, but
I would have, you know that.
Yeah, I know you would. It was split down the middle, but the Sixers, I think, with Charles Barkley, maybe that was more of a thrill. But Terry Catledge, a former Jaguar, so I think it was split down the middle.
Okay, and both teams played well. Don Davis has his complete Gulf Coast forecast when Action News 10 at 6 a.m. continues. And the fact that more and more women are watching football has advertisers paying attention. The story when we come back. It's now 7 minutes past the hour. Welcome back. It's about 9 minutes past the hour, and time for our first full check of weather with Don Davis. You know, they've got the tropical storm down in the Florida Keys, but the thing that's on a lot of folks' minds here is this chilly weather we've got this morning. It feels great outside.
It is really, really nice. Woke up this morning, stepped outside, it just kind of hits you and wakes you up, whether you want to wake up or not.
Or not.
Might want to grab a jacket or something like that if you're headed to work or school. Take a look at the current temps out there right now. Really comfortable. 47 degrees in Mobile, 49 right now in Pensacola. Dry, cool air and clear skies made a return to the Gulf Coast overnight. It's really nice. 50 degrees currently in Fort Walton Beach and 46 in Leaf, Mississippi. The humidity is rather high, though, coming in at 89%. The winds are blowing from the northwest about 6 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure is rising from 30.02. The forecast highs for today in the low 70s, really nice, about 70 to 74 degrees along the coastal sections. Much cooler Birmingham, Montgomery in the upper 60s, 50-degree readings all the way up into New England. So a really nice day for much of the southeast. Of course, no rainfall around here, but the showers and thunderstorms continue from North Carolina, South Carolina, off the mid-Atlantic states, and of course, down there in southern Florida, showers and thunderstorms just churning away. The showers down there coming as a result of Tropical Storm Fabian. Here's the latest coordinates for you. 24.8 north, 80.3 west, or about 70 miles south of Miami, Florida. It is moving to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds about 45 miles an hour, gusting all the way up to 60 miles per hour. Tropical storm winds extend outward about 115 miles from the center. It's forecasted to continue to move to the northeast, and the tropical storm watch for the Florida Keys has been canceled. Here's the boating forecast today. If you're planning on hitting the waters out there, it's going to be kind of rough at times. Seas anywhere from 4 to 6 feet. Winds blowing from the north about 15 to 20 knots. The tides, Mobile tide, high tide 6:24 this morning. The next low tide at about 6:42 for tonight. Here's a look at the river stages. Coffeyville, a little bit of a rise there, 1560 the latest reading. Claiborne 6.40 the reading for you there. The forecast for the rest of today, sunny and cooler. The highs from 70 to 74 degrees for tonight. Really nice and cold, 42 to 45 degrees for the overnight lows, so not too bad at all.
Okay, we'll check back with you to find out if those cool temperatures are going to stick around for the weekend.
Okay.
The NFL says nearly half of all Americans watching pro football are women. And as Donald Vandermark reports this morning, corporate America is trying to sell to them.
He's gone. He's gone. John Vaughn down the far sideline, inside the 10, and he goes the distance. And
Football, a top marketing vehicle for beer, razors, and other male-dominated products. It's also now attracting companies targeting women.
Women have become more involved. Back in 1979, when I first began at NFL Properties, women represented about 35% of our viewing audience. Now that's approaching 45%. We think that's very positive.
Maybe not quite that positive. According to NFL stats, 42% of the audience last year was women. Simmons Market Research, the firm that did the survey for the league, says it's even closer to 35%. Others say it's even less.
More and more women are involved in the sport. They bet the pools. They're really involved in it.
Women like the game. They like the party. They like the company.
Well, all guys like sports, and if you want to meet the guys, you have to go where they watch sports. And football seems to be the #1 sport in this town.
Football's the #1 sport in America. 80 million of us watch it regularly. Regardless of the breakdown, it's an audience too big to ignore.
For NBC News, I'm Donald Vandermark.
Don Davis has this morning's travel weather when Action News 10 at 6 a.m. continues. And travel reporter Paul Ryan takes us to Barcelona, the site of the 1992 Summer Olympics. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's 1/4 the hour. The international spotlight is on Barcelona, Spain. It's the host city for the 1992 Summer Olympics. In this morning's travel segment, reporter Paul Ryan takes us to Barcelona for a preview.
Olympics fever has hit Barcelona. The brightly colored logo and Kobe, the Olympics mascot, are plastered all around the city. The 500,000 visitors expected to attend the games in Barcelona will encounter a busy, cosmopolitan European city with distinctive touches all its own. The flamboyant Barcelona architect Antoni Gaudí left his mark on many of the city's buildings and in Güell Park, a surrealistic fantasy land. But this was Gaudí's most controversial project, the Sagrada Familia Cathedral. It's still a work in progress, 65 years after the architect's death.
It's incredible. I haven't seen anything like it throughout Europe. The architecture is just phenomenal.
Another Barcelona landmark is the statue of Christopher Columbus, towering above the city's harbor. For the visitor, a big Barcelona shortcoming was that it sits here on the Mediterranean but had little or no beach. The Olympics, though, changed that. Old warehouses and derelict piers all along here were torn out, the sand was brought in, and 4.5 miles of beach have been reclaimed. One attraction that really fascinates the tourists in Barcelona is the albino gorilla at the city's zoo. If he's in the mood, he may even mug for your camera. For the best spectacle the city has to offer, head for Las Ramblas, the social heart of Barcelona. Grab a ringside seat and watch the world go by.
Just the people, they're the show.
I'm Paul Ryan, Action News 10.
If you'd like more information on Barcelona, send us a large self-addressed stamped envelope to WLA-TV Travel Guide, Barcelona, P.O. Box 1548, Mobile 36633. Might be worth the trip just to see that big
It's a wild-looking thing, wasn't it?
It certainly was. But fortunately, our weather's not wild here on the Gulf Coast, but that's not the case, I don't think, in South Florida.
That's true. Expect delays all day long, especially if you're flying in southern Florida, all the way up the Atlantic seaboard, New York City, Washington, all the way to Portland, Maine. Delays there all day long, and the coastal California this morning may see some problems there from Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, places like that.
All right, thanks, John. A little later on Action News 10 at 6 a.m., we'll take a look at what's going on along the Gulf today, and we'll conclude our special series on pet medicine with a look at the best kind of medicine for your beloved pet. It's now 18 minutes past the hour. We'll be right back. It's 20 minutes past the hour. And this week we've run a series of reports where I examine the advancements being made in veterinary medicine. But even doctors agree that a pet owner's love is the best medicine of all. Today's focus is on the pampered pet.
Here, Augustus. Here, Augustus. Come on, got a movie for you.
We pamper our pets in some crazy ways, buying them things like the Here Kitty Kitty video. It sells for $19.95 and is supposed to provide felines with hours of endless entertainment. When we can't pamper our pets at home, how about luxurious pet hotels? It's the cat's meow with window views, brass beds, and of course, chandeliers. But modern amenities aren't limited to felines. The hotel provides canines with a choice of his and her fire hydrants.
Come on, children. Come on, Mamba, you want to get in? You want to get in, honey? All right, number one, you go first.
It's a dog-eat-dog world when commuting in San Francisco, but not for these guys. They're riding in high style with flamboyant attorney Melvin Belli. The staunch animal lover takes his four-legged children everywhere in his Rolls Royce.
The first one was given to me by a then law partner. The dog turned out a lot better than he. I fired him and kept the dog.
Now, if you're looking for the ultimate gifts for your pet, look no further than Beverly Hills. Amid the glitz and glamour of Rodeo Drive, you'll find the Cartier of kitty shops. It's the Rossini for rovers. Indeed, the cat is out of the bag on Critter Caterers, a pet bakery and boutique. Inside, customers let their noses do the shopping through rhinestone collars, pearls, La Pooch cologne, even a pet passport. And for the fashion-conscious canines, there's evening wear.
You could wear this New Year's Eve, Empress. I think this is 70. It's one of our most popular outfits.
Owner Tracy Parsons embarked to the pet business, starting out with freshly baked gourmet treats, such doggy delights as liver snaps, carob chip cookies, and health bones. Now, just don't compare them to milk bones.
There's no comparison to milk bones. They're all natural, no preservatives, no sugar, no salt. You could eat them yourselves. They're very good.
Customers buy doggy cookbooks, sunglasses, everything a pampered pet could possibly ask for if only he could.
He lives with my ex-husband, and so I send him, every Christmas I send him gifts, and every birthday.
Considering all the money we spend on pets on the things we think they like, what do foreigners think of all this?
We're from Ireland, and
we've never seen anything
well,
like this
we don't
before.
treat our animals just as kindly as you do. I'm afraid.
Proof that in America, a dog's life hasn't gone to the dogs after all.
Now be sure to watch Action News 10 at 6 a.m. next week for our in-depth series on reports on sleep, or lack of it, called Why Am I So Tired? Here's what's happening along the Gulf today. The Washington County School System is sponsoring Weekend Shop for Drug Awareness Day. The program will begin at 8 this morning in the Fellowship Hall of Chatham Baptist Church. The University of South Alabama will hold a free forum tonight called Property Rights in the Bill of Rights. That program will get underway at 8 o'clock in the University Ballroom. Now, if you have something to include in our Along the Gulf segment, send the information to us here at Action News 10, P.O. Box 1548, Mobile 36633. The Braves, Game 6 in Pittsburgh tonight. Chris Coraggio is on deck with a preview. And when Action News 10 at 6 a.m. continues, we'll have a preview of today's big meeting between area legislators and school officials. It's now 24 minutes past the hour. We'll be right back. Welcome back at 26 minutes past the hour. That means it's time for
the scream test.
The scream test. How you doing so far?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've got both of them the past 2 days.
You have? You catch on real quick. All right, now it's your opportunity to take a look at a classic movie clip, and you have to guess the name of this movie. Now watch for the monster.
Take this charm, the pentagram, the sign of the wolf. It can break the evil spell.
Evil spell. Pentagram, wolfbane. Oh, I'm sick of the whole thing. I'm going to get out of here.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, quit handing me that. You're just wasting your time.
The wolf bit you, didn't he?
Well, sometimes you don't even have to see the monster, and you can take a pretty
Well,
good guess.
I heard somebody mention a monster.
That's right. That might be a clue. That might be a clue.
Right.
Now, if you think you know the name of this movie, and I'm sure you do, send us a postcard. Address it to Scream Test, WALA-TV, P.O. Box 1548, Mobile, Alabama 36633. Now, why would you want to do that? Because if you do and your name is picked, you have an opportunity to win a trip to Universal Studios, you and a friend. It comes with airfare, round trip, hotel accommodations for 2 days, and tickets to the Universal Studios where they, you know, made all these movies and things. So.
I wasn't listening. What is it again?
Oh, shut up. That's it. We'll check back with you a little later. Take a nap.
Okay.
Local legislators and school officials meet today to discuss the budget crisis in the Mobile County school system. The schools are in need of a long-term funding solution. They're asking for more taxes. Now, that's something that legislators are in no mood to hear. This conflict will likely be the centerpiece of today's meeting.
Certainly, we've asked them time and time again, and we get an answer. Sometimes what we find out was not really the correct answer to the question.
So hopefully it all clears up tomorrow?
Certainly.
Lawmakers say Barton Academy has to be accountable and stick to its budget, but officials at Barton Academy say there's simply no budget to stick to. An attempt to override the president's veto of an unemployment bill is not expected to work. Today's vote comes on the heels of yesterday's debate over Clarence Thomas's nomination to the Supreme Court. Lawmakers and lobbyists for both political parties say lingering hard feelings make it unlikely that Democrats can muster the GOP support they need to override the veto. President Bush's veto is expected to stand. Even if America's unemployed don't get any added help, the average American still has a much better lifestyle than the average Soviet citizen. A new reference book put out by the U.S. Census Bureau and its Soviet counterpart shows that Americans eat twice as much meat and twice the fresh vegetables as folks in the USSR. They also have a lot more televisions. Soviet families have 2 for every 5 families, and 1/3 of all Soviet homes don't have running water. Now, that's something virtually unheard of in the U.S. It's now 6:30 and time for our second check of sports. You know, they don't have running water and 2 televisions for every 5 households. I think they have 2 televisions in every household in the U.S. just about.
That's what you would think. Yeah. And just about every television in the Southeast or just
be tuned to
tuned to the Braves tonight. This is it. They need to win. Like you said, they need to score. Was that the way?
That's it.
But you know what? They need to score more runs than the Pirates. That's the
yeah.
other thing.
They have to do that too. But let them start with making some.
That's right. This is pressure, but they've learned to play under pressure. They were with the Dodgers in that pennant race, so they know what pressure is like. Tonight is the night for the Atlanta Braves, Game 6 of the National League playoffs. The Pittsburgh Pirates have the momentum and the lead in this best-of-7 series, up 3-2. The Pirates are, of course, coming off 2 big wins in a row at Fulton County. This evening, the series shifts back to Pittsburgh, where the Braves hope to take the final 2 ball games. But Bobby Cox right now is only concerned with tonight. Yesterday afternoon, Atlanta left for Pittsburgh. The team seemed to be in good spirits and focused on what they have to accomplish.
It's no different than any other game, you know. We're just going to have to play well to win. They're a good ball club, and, you know, I'm going to have to do my job, and the rest of the guys are going to have to do theirs.
We really haven't done anything yet. You know, I'm proud of the way we played in Atlanta after the first day, but like I said, we got a long ways to go yet, and, you know, we got to see Avery and possibly Smoltz. Hopefully not Smoltz, but it's too early to be celebrating.
Okay, game time this evening is set for around 7:30 Central Time. The starting pitchers are, of course, the guy you saw, Steve Avery for the Braves, the winner of Game 2. And for the Pirates, the winner of Game 1, Doug Drabeck. Tune in this evening to Ready Not. He'll have the full story on Game 6 tonight at 10. Switching gears now to car racing, NASCAR driver Kyle Petty was in town yesterday at Doctors Hospital, visiting children all morning long. Petty made a lot of friends with everyone yesterday, talking about racing and spending some time playing with some video games. And afterward, he told me he had as much fun as the kids.
Seeing kids when they're cooped up in a hospital, it's a whole lot different than being an adult and being in a hospital. They don't understand a lot of times, so it's fun to go in and play the Nintendo games and just talk to everybody and see what's going on.
He is a terrific guy, as well as being a terrific racer. 2 more dates, and then the racing season is over. But hopefully he'll come back to Mobile. The kids loved him yesterday.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Don Davis is up next with our Gulf Coast forecast for today on Action News 10 at 6 a.m. We'll be right back. Coming up on 26 minutes before 7 o'clock, and if you've got the sneezes, sniffles like I do, you could have a cold like I do, or it could be allergies.
It could be a number of things. It could be the change of the weather. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride here. You know, it's hot one day, cold the next.
Yeah.
And also, with all the sunshine we've had and very little rain, a lot of people are suffering from allergies. Here's the allergy index, courtesy of USA. The pollen is in the high category: ragweed, goldenrod, grass, and juniper. And that's what's causing the problems there. The mold spores are also in the high category as well. As far as the almanac goes, yesterday's high temperature along the Gulf Coast, 78 degrees. Yesterday's low, about 52. The record high for this date is 89, set in 1972. No chance we're going to see that today. Tropical Storm Fabian making headlines out there today. The Tropical Storm Watch has been discontinued for the Florida Keys, and the warnings have been discontinued for Cuba. It's now about 70 miles south of Miami, moving to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds are right about 45 miles an hour, gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Should continue to move toward the northeast over the next 24 hours, and hopefully it will begin to fizzle out a little bit. Here's a look at the rainfall associated with Fabian off the coast of Florida. The heaviest thunder showers are on the eastern side of the storm, which is definitely good news for the state of Florida because they don't need any more rain, especially in southern Florida. Showers and thunderstorms, though, continue up the mid-Atlantic seaboard. Of course, the big news around here is the cool temperatures. 47 currently Mobile, 49 Pensacola, 45 in Range, 50 Fort Walton Beach, 46 in Leaf, Mississippi. The humidity, 89%. The winds are from the northwest about 6 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure is rising from 30.02. Here's the forecast for the rest of today along the Gulf Coast. Sunny and cooler, highs from 70 to 74 degrees. For tonight, clear and cold, 42 to 45 for the overnight lows. And here's a 5-day forecast. Look at that. Sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The next 5 days, just tons of sunshine. Temperatures warming up to about 80 degrees by Sunday, but for the next couple of nights, in the lower to mid-40s, so it's going to be nice, cool, and comfortable.
Don't you think that's a bit of a gamble? It's perfect weather for every day for 5 days.
Why not go with it?
All right, I'll take it. Stay with us here on Action News 10 at 6 a.m. for the morning business report, and we'll hear about one low-cost option some people use to see Europe. We'll be right back. We are coming up on 21 minutes before 7 o'clock, and it's time to take a look at this morning's business report with CNBC's Leslie Devlin.
Poor's downgrade Citicorp debt, but Moody's Investor Service says it's making no change. Hard hit by bad loans, the nation's biggest banking company has posted a third-quarter loss of $885 million. It's also suspended its common stock dividend for the first time ever. Industry analysts say it will need to raise more capital to retain investor confidence. In Tokyo overnight, the Nikkei index was up 27 points to close at 24,334. In London this morning, the Financial Times 100 index opened up 3 points at 25.80. The dollar opened for trading in London down against most major currencies. Gold opened down from its close in New York. Computer stock analysts are forecasting improvement for IBM as it restructures and capitalizes on new product lines. Big Blue's third-quarter earnings came in at 30 cents a share, sharply down, but still in the black. Its shares dipped sharply but closed nearly $3 higher. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average opens at 30.41 after closing up nearly 22 points yesterday afternoon. And that is the business brief for this morning. I'm Leslie Devlin.
For young women who want to travel, but the cost is simply out of the question, a relatively inexpensive way of seeing Europe is to get a job as an au pair. Mike Salord explains.
I have a zest for travel, and anyone who's interested in traveling, any young woman, I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Jody Katz of Silver Spring, Maryland is looking forward to living in Italy as an au pair, a live-in babysitter housekeeper who spends from 6 months to a year with one family. For Jody, the adventure will be a unique opportunity to experience life in Italy firsthand.
I was just very attracted to it, and I wanted to spend more time there. So I was thinking of a way I could spend, really get to know the way of life and spend more time there.
Jody's stint as an au pair is being arranged by Interexchange, a New York au pair agency, one of several throughout the U.S. After paying a $95 fee, Jody filled out an application and the agency checked her references. Now that she's been accepted, she and agency coordinators are working on finding the perfect home for her. Because demand for American au pairs is so high, Jody has her pick of families abroad.
They live in Bologna, pretty much in the middle of the city, speak English and French at home. You would be speaking English in the home. The demand is very high. We have no trouble whatsoever placing girls over there, young women. They, we constantly have families, who want an American, whether it's for 3 months or a year.
The demand for Americans is so high because many families abroad want to expose their children to English. And while large numbers of European women are eager to come here, few Americans travel abroad to become au pairs. But the au pair agents hope that will change, so that many more American women will be exposed to the unique adventures of babysitting overseas.
To me, it's extremely exciting, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would never give up this opportunity.
For NBC News, I'm Mike Salort.
While becoming an au pair can be a cheap way of living overseas, the getting there can still be expensive. Many agencies charge a fee, and most have the women cover the cost of airfare. Don Davis has the Gulf Coast weather forecast when Action News 10 to 6 a.m. continues, and we'll see what's being done to cut down on the number of infant deaths in America. The story when we come back. We continue now at 16 minutes before 7 o'clock. Now, you might find this hard to believe, but the United States leads most of the industrialized world with its infant death rate. Fortunately, some established programs are closing the line. Susan Stewart reports on one such program in Florida.
For a woman living in a rural area, prenatal care like this sonogram might seem like a luxury. In communities where medical facilities and doctors are rare, a high infant death rate is common. In north central Florida, an area known for high infant mortality, one program has been providing prenatal care and lowering infant death rates for a quarter of a century.
The project has been able to bring the infant mortality rate for the counties that it serves down from about 35 per thousand to about 10 per thousand over those 25 years.
The Maternal and Infant Care Project started with a federal grant in 1966. Now supported by federal and state funds, the MIC is operated by the University of Florida Health Science Center. The most recent figures gathered by the Center for Health Policy Research show this program has reduced infant deaths dramatically in its 12-county region. For example, the odds of black infants dying in the first month of life have been reduced by 30%.
And you can look at the infant mortality rates in rural areas that don't have MIC projects, some of them adjacent to us, and the numbers are very telling as to what it would be like without us.
A healthcare team composed of a doctor, a nurse practitioner, a nurse midwife, and a nutritionist takes care of women before, during, and after pregnancy. Social workers and family planning experts also work with the women and their families to correct the problems that lead to poor prenatal care.
If these had been started all over the U.S. so that every county in the U.S. had them 25 years ago, we'd be one of the leading nations, in infant mortality now.
In Gainesville, this is Susan Stewart reporting.
The sixth tropical storm of the season is making its way across the Florida Keys this morning. Kind of popped up all of a sudden.
Yeah, about lunchtime yesterday, Air Force reconnaissance planes flew into the storm and just quickly upgraded. It was a fast-forming storm. Just almost came out of nowhere, it seems. Take a look at the latest statistics on Tropical Storm Fabian. Latitude 24.8 north, longitude 80.3 west. Winds about 45 miles an hour, gusting to 60 miles per hour. The movement is to the northeast, about 20 miles per hour. Little change is expected over the next 24 hours, although the forward speed will probably pick up considerably late this afternoon, about 70 miles south of Miami, Florida. Around here, temperature-wise, nice and cool. 46 degrees Mobile, 47 Pensacola, 44 in Appleton, and 49 in Fort Walton Beach. The humidity coming in now 77%. The winds have picked up to 8 miles per hour, still out of the northwest, though. The barometric pressure is reading 30.3, and it is on the rise. As far as the surface map goes, a cold front that moved through here yesterday still sagging across southern Florida as high pressure continues to build in the region behind it, giving us really nice weather. Over the next 24 hours, no big change around here. The high pressure system continues to center itself right on top of us. That means lots of sunshine around here. Here's the forecast for today, though, along the Gulf Coast. Sunny and cooler. The highs from 70 to 74 degrees. For tonight, clear and cold. The overnight lows, check this out, 42 to 45 degrees. Here's the extended forecast, although Renee does not believe it. Sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with highs creeping up to the 80-degree mark by the end of the weekend. Overnight lows of the next couple of days, nice and cool in the lower to mid-40s. Here's today's weather picture. A beautiful sunny day, which is what we should have out there today. Comes from Penny Roy, Baker Elementary. She is in the 5th grade in Mrs. Batley's class.
Well, Penny certainly believes we're going to see a lot of sunshine
She
this
believes
week.
me.
I'm going to be out looking for clouds. If I see a cloud, I'm going to let you know.
Okay.
NBA action in Mobile. Chris Coraggio has highlights from the game when we come back. And when Action News 10 at 6 a.m. continues, a man wanted for murder who eluded authorities for 3 months is behind bars this morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is now coming up on 9 minutes before 7 o'clock, and I'm Renee Downs along with Don Davis and Chris Coraggio. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there is a controversy brewing over the symbol for the Braves now. We've all heard of the tomahawk chop, which I have even done, but apparently
You've
some
done it
people
very
are
well, by the way.
offended by it. I don't want to offend anybody, but what
Some
is
Native
this?
Americans in Minnesota are offended that the chop is not a good symbol for their heritage, and of course the tomahawk chop has been around for a while. People, Florida State, the Seminole fans have been doing it, but recently it's nationwide now with the Braves the last couple of months or so. And if the Braves make it to the World Series, these Native Americans in Minneapolis are going to protest, thousands of them, outside the Metrodome before Game 1 of the series. At least they say they were going to do that. So it is.
Well, what do we do now? I don't know what
Well,
to do.
I think the Brave fans are still going to be doing that, though.
You see, the thing, like you mentioned, it's been around for such a long time, but nobody knew anything about the Braves. Nobody was doing that until
now there is controversy.
Well, let's hope they'll be able to work it out, but let's definitely hope the Braves will be able to win.
That's right.
Okay, we'll talk to you a little later. Medical researchers say they've taken a big step towards finding a treatment for multiple sclerosis. A medical report put out this week says scientists have identified specific types of white blood cells that may cause the disease by attacking tissue. One scientist says a compound that blocks the destructive effects is being tested on human patients already, but she adds it's too early to tell if the treatment will work. The Mobile County Commission is making moves to buy 14 ambulances and equipment for its countywide paramedic service. The commissioners have put up $600,000 for the life-saving gear. The service will cover all of Mobile County through the help of various volunteer fire departments, South Flight, and private ambulances as well. Things should be operational by January. All you need to do when you need help is dial 911, just like before. A preliminary hearing has been set for next Tuesday for a man charged with murder, attempted murder, and robbery. Gregory Boo McCants evaded authorities for more than 3 months before he was captured this past weekend. In court yesterday, McCants didn't request bond, nor was bond set in relation to the charges he faces for the shooting death of a Mobile man back in July. A female impersonator was also in the Mobile County courtroom yesterday. Mark Angela Henley is now on his way home to Michigan. He reportedly duped several local businesses by posing as a Hollywood starlet. In a plea bargain agreement, Henley will repay about $1,700 to a florist, a motel, and a limousine company. He also faces 5 years probation and psychiatric counseling. And on a lighter side of law enforcement, Mobile Police Chief Harold Johnson was seen passing out kisses yesterday to some of our men and women in blue. Chief Johnson filled in for Mayor Mike Dow at the Penelope House Kiss a Cop luncheon. And before you get all upset, of course the kisses were the candy kind. The luncheon was held to say thanks to the police chiefs in the area for all the work they do in connection with Penelope House, a shelter for battered women. Boy, I saw you perk up there. What? Our police chief handing out kisses? Candy kisses, and officers definitely deserve it.
They certainly do.
Yes.
They certainly do. Last night, I don't know how many officers were at this ball game at the Civic Center, but it was a treat. I know you weren't there, Don.
No.
You didn't make it.
What about those tickets you had, too?
But look, you just watch these highlights, and it'll be almost like you were there.
That's
Unbelievable. Right. The memory of last night will no doubt linger in the minds of many basketball fans here in Mobile. The first ever NBA game was played, the Food World NBA Shootout, the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Orlando Magic, and you couldn't have asked for more. A big crowd, a close game, and many superstars. Let's get right to the action, and fans piled in to the Civic Center, and they certainly got their money's worth. Pick it up, first quarter, Auburn grad Charles Barkley. Thinking about the jump shot, will let it fly, yeah. Got it, and the Sixers led. But here come the Magic. Scott Skiles up on the dribble will give to former Jaguar Terry Catledge, who lays it up and in, and the fans certainly enjoyed that. A big battle down low last night. Manute Bol, who was 7'7½", and Stanley Roberts of Orlando, who weighs about 250, 260, and he dunks it over Manute there. This is Tyrone Mays. What a rookie he is going to be for the Sixers. He gave him the lead. Here's Chris Corciani giving off to Marlon Wiley. Wiley nails the jumper. At halftime, the Sixers led by 3. Second half, here comes a big highlight. Charles Barkley driving the baseline, the big dunk, and that brought the house down, including South Alabama Jaguar head coach Ronnie Arrow. He enjoyed that highlight. Now, this game went down to the final minutes, and the Sixers did pull it out here. Charles Barkley screaming on his teammates, and Tyrone Mays gets the pass from Brian Oliver, dunks it through, and that is it. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Orlando Magic last night 112-107. It was a treat for everyone.
I hadn't been here in 7 years as far as playing ball here in the auditorium, but, brought back a lot of memories, and I'm just still glad they had the fan support here that, that I left.
Okay, what's the possibility of the Sixers coming back to Mobile next season and entertaining us with another preseason game?
Well, if they want us, we're here, I'll tell you right now.
I think the highlight of the whole game, when Charles Barkley sat down in the fourth quarter, right before the end of the game, he took off his shoes and he just threw both of them, and kids scurrying for it, and the two people who got it were just on cloud 9.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Stay right here on Action News 10 at 6 a.m. for Don Davis's final look at our Gulf Coast weather forecast. We'll be right back. Just about out of time this morning, but we thank you for starting your day with us here on Action News 10 at 6 a.m. Be sure to watch tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at some people who only have high blood pressure at the doctor's office, and some business leaders who want good values in their employees take their workers to the woods. Be sure to watch Action News 10 tomorrow for those stories and more. What about our forecast?
Forecast for today is looking really, really good. Here's a look at it. Clear and cool. Highs anywhere from 70 to 74 degrees. A lot of sunshine today and over the next couple of days.
Okay. Big game today.
Game 6 of the National League playoffs. The Braves and the Pirates. Atlanta needs a win. They're down 3 games to 2. Rennie will have all the action tonight at 10.
Okay. That wraps it up for us this morning. Thanks again for starting the day with us. NBC is today's show is next up. We'll see you at 7:25.
Good morning.